You do not need to sell your stock and pay federal and state taxes just to buy some real estate. Hey everyone, I'm Andrew. I'm a CFA charter holder and a CFP professional who has worked with ultra high net worth and high net worth investors for several years. And I also own Lever Wealth Management, which is the financial advisor for people who scare financial advisors. And what I do is I take those thousands of learnings over the years from those clients and I bring them to you so that you can apply them to your own situation. Today, what I want to talk about is how I have seen many wealthy clients buy real estate. I thought this was more well known than it was. Apparently it's not, but it's the idea of a security-backed line of credit, SBLOC, SBLOC. If you have money that's in a joint account or a revocable trust, a taxable investment account, you can put with any of the major brokerage houses, Schwab, Fidelity, Pershing, Vanguard, any of the major ones. And there are even specific banks that cater to this. You can put a line of credit against your investments. Much the same you can do a line of credit against your house, right? You don't have to have a mortgage on your house to do a line of credit. The difference with an SBLOC are a couple of things. Most of the time with a home equity line of credit, I'll use that as an example because it's maybe a little more intuitive. You have to give financials. Many times there's an annual fee to renew and there's an underwriting process, right? And many times there's a minimum draw. With a lot of the SBLOCs, you actually don't have to do that. Some of them do credit pulls, but it's based on that specific asset or account rather. And it's mostly based on a loan to value ratio of the assets in the account to the amount you can take out on the line of credit. You can have it open for as long as you want. You don't have to pull on it. But if you do pull, usually you can do it anywhere up to, I'm going to call it 70%. So if you have $1 million, you can get 700,000 in a line. Okay, now that we have that framework established, here's what I have seen people do successfully. If you go to buy real estate, are people more likely to accept your offer if it's cash or if it's financed? It's cash, right? Are they more likely to accept your offer if it's cash or if it's contingent? It's cash. And so when you have a line of credit on your investment account, and let's say you want to buy the second property in Arizona, what you do is you go and you find the property, you say, hey, I'll pay cash, I'll do 7-day close, but I'm only going to offer you 90 cents on the dollar, right? Some real estate markets are hot. I understand you may not get the deal, but I think you understand the point of what I'm getting across here. Relative to a financing option, the deals that are available are much greater if you can offer cash. So I had a client who did this with a property in Arizona once, and they were able to get it a small discount, not much, but quick close, own the property, and on the back end, what they did is they used it as bridge financing. So they bought the house, pulled on their line of credit, sold their house that they were currently living in, used that to pay off the line of credit. Voila, didn't have to go to a bank for bridge financing. They were the bank, right? Another client, instead of going to the SBA and trying to get a loan for their new business, they worked in corporate America and then decided they were going to semi-retire and eventually started a business. Well, they didn't want to sell stock because it was going to take $300,000 probably to start the business and pay for their living expenses over a year. So if you bought stock for $100,000 and you have to sell it for $300,000 to get you cash, that's $200,000 a gain, right? That's at least $40,000 of tax. Depending on your state, it may be $50,000 of tax. So what they did is they pulled on the line of credit month by month until their business cash flow got high enough. They just used it to pay down the line of credit. And a lot of these are incredibly flexible in that you can pay down principal and interest. You can pay interest only, which is what most people do because it's for short-term financing the vast majority of the time. Or you can actually let the interest accrue for a period of time if you want to make sure to preserve cash burn or something like that. Is it a good strategy if you're going to hold debt for 15 years? No, you should probably get some type of permanent financing, right? But if there's a short-term window where you're bridging and you want to be able to play the cash game, that's how so many high net worth people are able to go and pay cash for properties and pay cash and start businesses. I've even seen, I don't know that I'd recommend this, I've even seen some people play bank and they'll do the line of credit at 6 or 7%. And then they'll go and do private loans to people who are starting businesses at 10, 11, 12%. And they play the bank and just keep the spread. My point is it's very flexible. It depends on your circumstances and how much risk you're willing to take, your aversion to debt. But it's a powerful tool if used correctly. And if used correctly, it can help you have legal tax avoidance depending on what you're trying to do. So again, something that I thought was maybe a little more well-known tends not to be. So I thought I'd do a quick video on it. Hope you all found it helpful. And until next time, see y'all.